One of my first video games I've ever played, first major FPS games I ever played, was Call of Duty Black Ops 1, all the way back in 2010 or 2011. And ever since then, I always kind of liked the Black Ops series for what it was. It was different, it was unique. It was a lot different from the Modern Warfare series that was already been out for quite a while now. And with the introduction of Cold War, it's easy to say that I was really hyped up for it. But when I first got my hands on Cold War, I was conflicted with it, best say. One of the first things I did was play the campaign. It's always, I don't know, something that I've done was always play the campaign first, because the campaign is what's supposed to set up the multiplayer, in my opinion. It's what sets the pace for the events that is going to happen next for the campaign, or not the campaign, but the multiplayer. And best say I was conflicted with the campaign. And basically, this video is going to be a review, or my take, on the Call of Duty Cold War campaign. As part 1. There's maybe going to be another part for the multiplayer, another part for the zombies. But this video is going to be specifying, or not specifying, but is going to focus mostly on the campaign. And as soon as I played the campaign, there is a couple things I didn't really like about it. And some of them were references to the old games, which, some were done really good, and some it felt more forced. I don't know. It really wasn't for me. Like the lighter scene in the first mission. I mean, yeah, it's the throwback to the first Black Ops game, but I mean, okay. And in the second mission of the campaign, which was the Vietnam one, the helicopter scene. It's just like, yeah, that was in the Black Ops 1 campaign. That's great, but like, how do we know how to fly the helicopter and stuff like that if we're just manning the gun for it? I don't like, it's not a real big issue, but it's just something that I was like, oh wow, okay. Another issue that I had, though, I think is much bigger, was the voice actors for the people, like Mason and Hudson and Woods. If you didn't know already, the voice actors for Mason, Hudson, and Woods in the campaign aren't the same voice actors from the previous Black Ops games. And I don't know why they decided to get new voice actors. I mean, if you look at the voice actor for Woods, when he first saw the reveal trailer, he asked why wasn't he contacted. He would have been totally down for that. And I don't know why, but because of this, it just feels like the characters are just watered down versions of themselves. Later in the campaign, it was like Operation Greenlight campaign or something like that, that mission. Um, you and Woods, you being the character you made up, which I'll talk about later, find a secret, like, Russian base with an American, like, town, like, built into it. And Woods comments about a Burger Town, saying, these commies have Burger Town, I can't believe them. And it doesn't sound like him. It's not something he would actually say. It just feels like he's playing the stereotypical, like, American almost. And moving on to your character, which, you make, just like in Black Ops 3, you, like, make them, basically. There is an option to have them binary. I mean, it's not a big thing, but it just feels, you know when you're playing the game that this was a game made in 2020 and not, let's say, 2010, like Black Ops 1 was. I mean, like, I really doubt there was non-binary, operators working for the CIA back in the 80s. I don't know about that, geez. Moving on to some other, the more important stuff, I'd say. The gameplay. or sort of the gameplay of the campaign. When I first played it, I don't know why, aim assist just felt really weird to me. And so in multiplayer, which I'll maybe make another video about, the aim assist just, it's really strong or it's either really weak. And in Modern Warfare, it had like a really good aim assist that felt really good. It wasn't too overpowered and it wasn't too light. It was right in the middle, you know? Really good, felt good, played amazing. In this though, it was the first time I had to actually turn aim assist off for the campaign. I mean, I don't know how you messed that up, but whatever. Some other stuff I didn't really like the campaign was it was short compared to other campaigns. Like, you know, an average Call of Duty campaign I'd say is 6-7 hours, and it just felt way shorter. I'd say maybe this is 4 hours if I was really rushing. And something that I was glad to see back was the optional campaigns, like in Black Ops 2, but there was only 2 of them, which I don't understand why, because if I remember correctly, in Black Ops 2 there was 5 optional campaigns, or not campaigns, but missions, and in here there was only 2. I would have loved to see more, but you know, it's whatever. But something that's really been bothering me was your character, which was Bell, I believed, and it's the same thing with Black Ops 3, as you know, it's not really connected to Mason, Woods, or Hudson, not in the technical sense or biological sense like in Black Ops 2, where you play as Alex Mason's son. It it just adds like a divide, I think. Like, you're not really following in the footsteps of Alex Mason, and it just adds a, I don't know. You don't feel like you're as connected to them as you are in Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1. Some other stuff that I noticed while playing was in some missions it just feels like the quality, like the actual graphics of the game goes down, especially towards the end, which I don't really know why. Maybe it's because I'm playing on PS4, not PlayStation 5. Maybe that's a reason why. But I definitely prefer Modern Warfare 2019's graphics over Cold War's. And finally, like I was saying at the end, the ending for the game. And the canon ending, spoiler alert if you haven't played it yet, the canon ending is you blow up some artillery or anti-air and you bomb a place. That's literally the canon ending. You don't find the main bad guy, Perseus. You just prevent nukes from going off, which, you know, I guess is, you know, something I'd consider important, but the whole focus of the game is finding Perseus, and then you don't find Perseus. It just feels weird and wrong. Like in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, you know, are close to or not close to finding, but capturing the bad guy. And in Black Ops 1, you do capture the bad guys, like Kravchenko and Dragovich. You do meet up with them, and you do end their lives, except for Kravchenko, who survives in Black Ops 2. But, yeah, you really don't find Perseus. You just know he's there, and that's about it. However, there are some things I did like about it. One of the earliest things I liked about it was the intel. Because in this game, it wasn't like Black Ops 1 where you'd find the intel and the intel would be decoded and everything. No, you actually had to decode the intel for you, which was how you did the optional missions, which I thought was really cool. You know, because I actually had to decode the stuff and decipher it on like an extra piece of paper. So yeah, decoding stuff, excellent. Like to see that in future Treyarch games. The other thing I liked about it was the side quests you'd have during missions. And one of them you had to go rescue an informant. I like those because you didn't really have to do it, but if you did, you'd get intel and whatnot, which would help you with the later side missions if you did them. Of course, there was a tie-in with the Modern Warfare 2019, which confirms that, Modern Warfare 2019 is a part of the Black Ops universe. Not the original trilogy, but just the 2019 reboot. Which, if you think about it, it's kind of weird, because that means 6 years after Modern Warfare, the Black Ops 2 events unfold. It's weird to think about it because, Modern Warfare 2019 is supposed to be set in 2019, and it's weird to see like the technological leap between those two different games. It's weird to think about. One of the best things I liked about this game, though, was the climax, or what I'd call the climax of the game, which is when you, Bell, your character, find out that you've been brainwashed by the CIA to, basically help them. They've basically just rebranded you as this Bell person, because before you were just some random soldier they had found, some random Russian soldier who had a lot of connections to Perseus. But it's a nice twist I didn't see coming, and it kind of reflects what Mason went through, because he was also brainwashed, except not by the CIA, by the Russians. I thought it was a really cool twist at the end, and that leads me to what I'd call the bad ending, where you can lie about the location of Perseus to Adler, which is basically the new woods of this campaign. And if you lie to him, you have the option to set up an ambush. And if you do that, which I had, you basically turn against everyone, against Woods, against Mason, against Adler, against his team, basically. And it's really dark, but at the same time, it just feels refreshing at the same time. Like, you have to hunt down your old teammates and whatnot. And, like, when I say refreshing, I mean it's nice to have another take on the campaign, because, in basically every other Call of Duty campaign, it's always the bad guys triumph and overwin against the, bad guys, which most of the time is Russians. It's nice to see the Russians winning. I mean, it would have been a perfect time to, at the end of the campaign, just to start playing the Soviet Union national theme from not Cold War, but from World at War. Would have been perfect, but it's not really needed. It's a lot different. Adds another layer of depth to the cool game itself, and I find it really nice and really, really well done and executed. Overall, I think Treyarch needs to move on from the Black Ops series. However, it's been 10 years since Black Ops 1, and ever since then, they've kept on making Black Ops games that, really question the Black Ops timeline, such as Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. Like, just move on. You have the talent to create another game. Just go do it. Stop holding on to the Black Ops, timeline or universe, whatever you want to call it. I mean, if you would have just, cut the Black Ops from the Cold War and just called it Call of Duty Cold War, and it was like totally different, totally unconnected from the Black Ops universe, I think it would have been really good. I mean, you already had different voice actors. You're one step basically from creating a different world. But and some of the problems, however, I think were due to the short development time that Treyarch had. Because if you didn't know, Sledgehammer was supposed to be creating this year's Black Ops, or not Black Ops, Call of Duty, but for whatever reason, their project was scrapped, and Treyarch picked up the reins and you know, this is the Call of Duty we have now. Which, you know, I find ironic because the marketing for this game was know your history or be doomed to repeat it. I find that funny because the overall game, not, you know, including the campaign and everything, is somewhat flawed or has something that just kind of, you know, makes it disappointing or just breaks it entirely. And you'd think with that, you know, you think with that, you know, slogan, the marketing, they they would they would at least take the events that happened with Battlefield 5 because it also had a short development time and it ended up just failing completely. You would think with the whole remember your history be doomed to repeat it, they wouldn't make the same mistakes as EA and DICE did with Battlefield 5. You know, and at least delay the game until it was polished through. But, you know, I guess not, which, you know, kind of sucks because it, you know, it doesn't make the game good, it just hurts the game. There's missions that I liked, but there are some glaring issues with the game. And, you know, I just hope that will be fixed in the next Treyarch game. Hopefully they'll have more development time, they will learn from their mistakes and whatnot. But it's I'm kind of disappointed with the game as it is right now, you know, and with multiplayer, it doesn't help the campaign too much. Not saying that I totally hate the game. It's just that, you know, I just the standards I had for it were really high because, you know, we've had such amazing games Treyarch has made, like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. And, you know, I guess I should have had my standards lower considering the past two Black Ops games were Black Ops 3 and 4. But, you know, the whole Cold War setting, maybe I thought it was going to be different. I don't know. It's just disappointing at the end of the game. But, you know, I hope next time, you know, they'll have a good polished game. Anyway, moving on. I'll maybe make another two reviews for the multiplayer and zombies. Um, but yeah, that's been my review for the campaign. Like I said, it's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. But I know a lot of people who like the campaign, and you know, I'm not saying, you know, your opinions are wrong or you're not a true Black Ops fan. But you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and this is my opinion. This is my take on it. 3.5 out of 5.